Hi, good afternoon. This is Kenya Rockman, the author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and the Reform Child Support Now movement. I know this is earlier than what I would usually come on, but um, it's okay. You can come on anytime, upload. You can do all kind of things with technology these days. So if you're watching now, if you're coming on right now, somebody's here. So hi and welcome. And if I'm uploading this later on Facebook, of course, I'll put the links that I reference into the comments and everything like that. If you can, take a second to like our page, follow our page. If you're on Facebook, if you're here on YouTube watching, please subscribe and share. That'd be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna get right into it. As the title suggests, we want to vote no on this new bill that's been introduced out in Arkansas by Senator Tom Cotton. The bill is Senate Bill 4998, and it's titled the Child Support Works Act of 2020. It was introduced in December of last year. So I want to break down what this bill is, why we don't need another bill, which everybody pretty much knows. We don't need more bills to enforce the child support system. It's actually going in reverse of what we really need out here. And this is just reiterating that the politicians know the problems with the child support system, and by its own admission, they know how profitable the system is. But instead of giving the money to the children and helping families, struggling families especially, they're trying to get more money out of the federal government. And we'll see in this, as I explain, what this bill is. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you can, hit the subscribe button. Okay, so the bill, again, is the Child Support Works Act of 2020. And the purpose is it will amend the Title 4D, amend Title 4D of the Social Security Act to all states so that they can receive federal matching payments for mandatory work activity programs for non-custodial parents and for other purposes. Now, I didn't see what exactly the other purposes meant. Hi, Ethan. Oh, thanks for joining us. It's a good topic. Somebody, Cotton out there in Arkansas, wants to pass another bill to extort more money from the federal government to extort more money from non-custodial parents. Same game, just different day. But thanks for joining. Okay, so we got to go to exactly what this money means for when it applies to the Title 4D program. Hi, Amari. And as I've always said, and as is fact, the child support system is a welfare recovery program. So when they're asking for money for Title 4D, more money, I should say, you have to look at the TANF, which is the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, which replaced ADC or ADSAFDC welfare program back when all this happened, right? So you have to look at the money with the TANF program when they're asking for anything to do with Title 4D and the Social Security Act. So Senator Cotton wants Arkansas and every other jurisdiction, so this is nationwide, to get more than the $16.5 billion that the states already receive annually for the TANF program. In addition to the 66% of the allowable expenditures on child support activities and the incentive money that states receive for operating a child support program. So yeah, all this money, and they want to do this for operating a mandatory work program in every state. Now, if some parents or parents that have been arrested for failure to pay child support, even when you can't afford it, but been arrested for contempt, know that the judge can order you to be in a work program, to apply for X amount of jobs a week or something like that. So this is the same thing. They already have these in place, but Senator Cotton wants more money on top of the money that they already receive for these programs. He wants even more. And I don't care if it's 1%, 2%, 0.1%, it's too much because they already get money for these programs that don't help anybody. Well, they help the government, We already know that, and I'm gonna tell you how much it helps the government. So the states, ideally, when all this reformation went in place under Clinton, and make no mistake, Clinton was the president when the Child Support Act went in effect, and welfare and child support reforms went changed and everything, and all this went in effect. But this happened under a bipartisan effort. When you watch how politics work, when they make a major shift in legislation or how things work, welfare program, especially child support, they didn't do this. It wasn't a Democratic program or effort or a Republican effort. They did this together. So it's not, and I don't make it a Democratic or Republican issue because it's both of their fault. It's both parties' fault. So just keep that in mind. So when they did this TANF block grant that they changed, every state gets the 16.5 billion. Every state gets this money. So I'm gonna concentrate on Arkansas because, like I said, Cotton has introduced this bill. So they have this money sitting there that they don't even have to spend on low-income families. Before, it was allocated to help with low-income families. People got a monthly check. It wasn't all these criteria put in place. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying what happened. So instead of that money being paid out, the states are now able to keep that money. Hi, Rocco. Keep that money and keep it for a rainy day. They don't even have to spend it on low-income families. They have to spend some of it, but not all of it. So having said that, at the end of fiscal year 2018, Arkansas reported $20.4 million in TANF money obligated but not spent. So it was obligated to some program, but they didn't even spend it. And then another $53.4 million of TANF money unobligated and unspent, just sitting there. Now keep this in mind because this bill, he's wanting more money for the states. Now all these states have this money, this unspent TANF money that's supposed to go and help low-income families, but it's just sitting there. Nobody's saying you have to spend it, you have to spend this on that. You can actually take it and spend it anywhere. And that's what these states do. So nationally, in 2018, there was $5.1 billion in TANF funds that were neither transferred or spent, just sitting there. I'm trying to make my screen go up. I'm sorry, guys. So, okay, 5.1 billion at the end of 2018. So a total of 1.4 billion was committed to be spent, while the remaining 3.7 billion was unobligated balance. So it sounds, when I say these numbers, because now in the social media age, I mean, everybody has $1 million here and $1.5 million there. Like, everybody has money. But in actuality, this is a lot of freaking money that's sitting here while people, especially while we're going through this pandemic, this money could be going to help so many families, but it's just sitting there. And then the audacity of this senator to say, we want even more for a work program. Well, where are people going to work when we're going through a pandemic, when people are getting laid off and are unemployed, underemployed, trying to get it how they live? But he wants more money to make people go to work, to turn money over to the government to recover. I can go and go. Hey, JoJo, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're well. Hope your family is well. Good to hear from you. Okay, so now we're in the billions of money just sitting there. So this is because the TANF program, the law permits states to reserve unused funds without time limits. So they can sit it there. Like, this has been going on for my daughter's 22 years plus that they've been just sitting on this money. Okay, so this permits flexibility and timing of the use of the TANF funds, including the ability to save funds for unexpected occurrences that might increase costs. So I would think that a pandemic, as an unexpected occurrence where they should be spending this money and not sitting on it. But no, Senator Cotton wants more money just to sit on it. So for Arkansas in particular, which they could have used these programs for both parents and the children, Arkansas reported $90 million in unspent TANF funds in fiscal year 2019. Now, keep in mind with these welfare programs, and I did a video about this before with the pass-through. Once a parent is on public assistance, the custodial parent, they have to sign over their rights to any child support collected over to the state. So Arkansas sat with that $90 million in unspent TANF money, and they passed through zero. No money to the low-income children and families on the rolls, on the welfare rolls, TANF rolls. They don't pay anything. That's criminal, or it should be. It should be. So out of this bulk of money, they have to spend it somewhere, right? So Arkansas, of course, I'm gonna concentrate on Arkansas. So the state only spent $5 million of the, what did they get? 16 point, that's out of the 57. Okay, so $5 million in basic assistance, $14 million on work activities. That's what they want this extra money for, work activities, and $3 million on childcare. This is out of $57 million of the TANF block grant money, and they also get another $7 million in contingency funds. So what are the contingency funds for, right? The same question I asked. So I looked. So when Congress created the TANF block grant in 1996, it created the TANF contingency fund for states to draw upon during periods of economic distress. So here's even more money that they're drawing out of the federal government on our behalf, because we are taxpayers and we are supposed to help out when safety net programs, and non-custodial parents are allegedly supposed to pay back any money that's paid in these social safety net programs, welfare. So this is all of our money. So they have money sitting there, but they want more money to come out of our pockets. But then the children aren't getting any of this money, at least in Arkansas and in 25 other jurisdictions. They don't pass through any money. And this is all related to child support. It doesn't just stop with welfare. Child support and welfare are the same program. It's welfare recovery. They can tell you it's something else, but it's not. Okay, so Arkansas needs this money just like everywhere else in the country, but instead of spending it to assist low-income families, Senator Cotton wants even more federal dollars to make parents apply for and work in a shrinking employment pool in order to pay the government for a fake child support debt. Make no mistake, this debt is fake. And when you're working for nothing, which is what they are wanting non-custodial parents to do, work and pay all their money to the government to recover this welfare money, that's modern day slavery, because they can take up to 65% of your pay. That's up to, and I've heard many stories of them taking even more than 65%. Now take that out of a person making minimum wage and you're taking all them, how are they going to live? And they're supposed to make sure they leave the person that they're garnishing enough money to, take care of their basic needs. They don't even do that. So Cotton stated that these mandatory employment programs have proven effective in helping non-custodial parents develop positive work ethics. This suggests that unemployed parents somehow don't have positive work ethics. Just because a parent is unemployed, underemployed, does not mean that they do not have positive work ethics. Because of this child support system, they have been allowed to brand non-custodial parents, non-residential parents as somehow less than, because they don't make the amount of money that they are supposed to make per the government to cover this child support, this fake debt, or whatever they think they're supposed to pay to take care of their child. It's not up to them. If they're not going knocking on married people's door telling them to pay $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month, they shouldn't be telling non-married children, unmarried children, parents, the same thing. So yeah, he has a problem with your work ethic because you might be unemployed, especially during this pandemic. That's why it hit me so hard. Like, there's so many people unemployed. I think this last week was like the highest unemployment filings to date or something like that. So is he going to tell all those people that had to file unemployment with no children that they have they need to develop positive work ethics? I'm just saying. This is the points that you can, when you call and tell your legislators to vote no on this bill, this is some things that you can bring up and why that you want them to vote no. Just because someone is out of work or underemployed does not mean that they are purposely not providing for their children. The biggest difference between low-income mothers and fathers is that custodial parents can receive public benefits, while non-custodial parents are punished to the fullest extent of the law. But to be fair, custodial parents can be punished if they're not working, because you have to work to get a TANF payment. But the difference is, if they don't work for the benefit, they're sanctioned. Custodial parents are sanctioned, meaning they're not going to get their full benefit. Where if the non-custodial parent doesn't meet the full benefit, or they don't work, they go to jail. Worst case scenario. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that go in there, but they're going to jail. They can get strapped with a felony. Out of Wisconsin just last week was a case that went to the Wisconsin Supreme Court where the dad went to jail, now strapped with a felony. It was a child support non-payment, so now he's a felon. He can't own a weapon. Nobody thinks about the long-term effect. Once your kids turn 18, 25, you can't even own a weapon because you have that felony on you off of a debt. And if it goes to the state, that's a fake debt. Okay, so the next thing Cotton says in support of this bill is that these mandated work programs help fulfill the parent's child support obligation. So the parent could provide for their children without the child support obligation and without government interference. We've seen it over the course of life. We've seen our parents, our grandparents raise children without government interference or a child support order. I mean, so when the government mandates low-income custodial parents to sue the other parents to return for desperately needed benefits, they're punishing both parents and the child for being low income. Being poor is not a crime. You hear me say that if you watch my videos before. Being poor is not a crime, and we need to stop making or letting legislators treat people like it is one. Debtor prisons were outlawed in 1833. And even after the the custodial parent leaves the system with that child support order still open, that parent is still treated like a debtor, like a deadbeat. If they miss a payment, they're still going to be persecuted, even after they leave the role of welfare. Trust me, I know. Hey, Mr. Avery. So even if there are work programs offered, mandated to the point where incarceration is the result, it's still going to affect long-term employment, because when the child support is going to the government, the child is not going to get that money. That's going to lessen the incentive for the parent to keep that job. Who wants to work for free? And who wants to work when they know their child's not getting the money? That's work. That's slavery. Who would want to work? And ask the average person, especially right now, going through this pandemic, they're going to work 9 to 5, and they're coming home with no money, and it's going to the government. Ask them or they keep working. I'll wait. So this is a quote from Senator Cotton. Fathers have an obligation to care for their children. Child support orders can help parents fulfill their obligation by requiring them to work. That's the end of the quote. And I say to Senator Cotton, both parents have an equal obligation to care for our children. It's unfortunate and frankly criminal and unconstitutional to transfer all financial responsibility onto the shoulder of fathers and men in general, just to profit from the child support system and the family court systems. Now, I know that there's some moms on child support. Hey, moms, I'm not saying that there are not, there's not, but the majority of parents that have child support orders that are being dogged in the family court system are men and fathers. That's just a fact. I mean, you can look at the statistics. It's just what it is. Okay, so we can see by this country not investing in low-income families who sign up for public assistance, we see that they don't put this money back. So Senator Cotton with this bill is asking for more money, but they have money and they don't reinvest it in the community. So why would we give them more money? That's something that we can ask when we contact the legislators and tell them to vote no on this bill. Instead, they want to use an outdated and unsubstantiated common law practice to claim the government as a third party and making fathers repay a welfare grant cleverly disguised as a loan. It's a fake loan, but they have it disguised as a loan all the same. Another thing is that the government had a right to require a parent to work to provide for their children instead of relying on public programs and safety nets. Custodial parents would be required to work and face the same punishments that non-custodial parents face every day. But they can't do it. They can't, and because legally they can't make a custodial parent sign a contract to say you have to pay all these welfare benefits back or you're going to jail. That's not how that works. That's where the third party system comes in and the common law theory. If y'all go to my website, thechildsupporthustle.com, I wrote about the common law theory and how they get away with making fathers repay this fake debt. Hey, King Lamont. Just if you have a question, please send it to cshustle1@gmail.com and I'll try to answer you if I can. Okay, or in the comments. Again, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like or follow and share. Over there on Facebook, they are, and I know how it feels for your numbers or your posts to be taken down or to be censored because they censor like crazy on Facebook. So I used to do Facebook Lives. That's why I did recordings, but they were censoring. It was too crazy. So hi to my Facebook family and thanks as always for your support. So we're over here on YouTube. I'm gonna upload this on Facebook. Thanks for watching. And click the notification. I don't know, click the button so when I go live over here, it'll let you know when I go live on YouTube. Okay. So where was I? Okay, barriers such as in the background, in the press release, it mentions that approximately 1/4 of child support cases aren't paid, often because the non-custodial parent doesn't have a job. Okay, not only are parents unemployed, they're underemployed. Barriers such as suspended licenses, low credit scores, passport revocations, arrest warrant records, and felonies on their records are results of child support agencies reporting late payments. They're creating the barriers and then complaining when people can't get jobs to pay the child support. That is counterproductive, and that's to keep people in debt, to keep people keep people enslaved to the system, to the government. If you want parents to obtain gainful employment, stop creating detrimental barriers that will prevent them from successfully gaining and retaining employment, especially during this worldwide pandemic. Great seeing you as well, JoJo. Secondly, erase all child support debt that's owed to the government. It has got to go. Because again, I say that debt is fake. You're going to hear me keep saying that because we need a bill. If Senator Cotton, if you happen to watch this video, we need a bill written, introduced, and passed to erase child support debt that is owed to the government. arrears owed to the government. Erase it. People need a clean slate. That's a bill that we can get behind. We can get behind a bill like that. Because this money, this debt that you all are saddling these parents with has already been paid for 3 times. I got the proof. So he also says that these work programs have been proven effective at increasing child support payments and employment among non-custodial parents. That's why he wants this extra money, because he says that they've proven effective and that the court-ordered programs have proven especially effective. But according to the Congressional Research Service, in a report published in May of 2020 about the mandated work programs for non-custodial parents, employment programs for non-custodial parents have not shown consistent impacts on employment, earnings, and child support compliance when subjected to rigorous evaluation. So he contradicts it. He's contradicted right there. He wants more money for that, but they're saying that it doesn't work like that. It doesn't show that it's effective. So you shouldn't get any more. So why should we pay for more mandatory work programs and they're not effective? The simple answer is we shouldn't. So they want more money. So I want to tell you what the numbers are. In addition to the 66% reimbursement from the federal government for allowable expenditures, nearly $500 million incentive monies just in the past 5 years. This is for the nation. Let me get water, please. I started going and going. Excuse me. Okay. I know this is a lot of information and a lot of numbers running together. So I apologize for that, but this is important information. And like I said, when you talk about when they pass new bills that have to do with child support, you have to look at the money, the TANF money, the child support money, because it's all about money. So we can talk about, different issues, and sometimes it's easier to talk about that stuff. But if we want to really get to the nitty and the gritty of this, go to the dollar, go to the money, especially when they're asking for more money. So, okay, so besides the 66% reimbursement from the federal government that states receive for allowable expenditures for the child support program, nearly $500 million in incentive monies were paid to the states in just the past 5 years. And nearly $5.9 billion in unspent TANF money has been stockpiled since the end of 2019. $5.9 billion. Now you put that with the little $600 that they just passed in stimulus money. They just paid out, and some people didn't get it. Some were still waiting for it. And this time they didn't offset it for non-custodial parents, or they're not supposed to. Now I'm hearing mixed reports. If you have been notified that you're not going to receive a stimulus payment because of child support arrears, please contact myself or the organization, either here or on Facebook, a DM. I want to know more so why you didn't get, or why they told you didn't get it once, even though we were told that the money would not be offset. So if that happened to you and you did not receive a stimulus payment because of child support arrears, please let us know. And if it's just please let us know. Just let us know, please. So $5.9 billion in unspent TANF money. We know that money won't go to the children because it never does. It hasn't for decades. They keep that money and they stockpile it. We need to ask the legislators, to start with Senator Cotton, why do you need more money when we don't know what you're doing with the money that you're already receiving? We don't know what you're doing with it, except for keeping it in your coffers for whatever you want to spend it on, because there's no accountability. There's no accountability. So we need more bills to promote. We don't need more bills to promote this child support machine. That's obvious. No matter what they keep telling us and all that kind of stuff, you can't keep going after these fathers and these non-custodial parents for money that's not there. Where are you going to get the money from? Easy. You're going to lock them up and make them work for pennies on the dollar. That's slavery. They did it in New Jersey and they got sued, and then the plaintiffs won, and now they sued again because they had these prisoners locked up working at some plant, paying them nothing, and these were child support obligors, people with minor issues, and they had them out there on a chain gang, so to speak, and they sued them and they won. So they want cheap labor. That's what I think. No, that's what I know. You can see that. So we don't need more bills for y'all to keep extorting these parents. We need bills to reform, replace what we have now. We're going backwards with bills like this, Senator Cotton. We need to retract the guidelines, reform these bills, and repeal the Bradley Amendment. Erase state-owed debt. People need a fresh start, not just with the student loans, not with just what you guys think is adequate or appropriate. I'm sorry. People need a fresh start from child support debt. We do not need to invest in another penny into this unconstitutional system. So contact your legislators, guys, and tell them to vote no on Senate Bill 4998. Let me go to the see if I want to thank everybody. That was a lot of information, and I went a little longer than I anticipated, but sometimes they go a little bit longer. I will lead any project, JoJo. You tell me when and where. I'm always with it. Always. Okay, Mr. Avery, I'm sorry I didn't get to your question. They're not going to recoup that debt, Mr. Avery. I mean, like you said, it's slim to none. But in the meantime, they will always have that person in debt. Every time that person gets paid, the government gets paid. The child support hustle. There it is. If you get $1 every time that person gets $1 and you don't have to do anything, man, that's a hustle right there. That's right, Morton. Modern day indentured servitude, modern day slavery. And they have no problems with it. And they disguise it, pretend that this system is in the best interest of children, but it's really in the best interest of the government. If you look at the numbers, this money is all going, if they really, really cared about children and families, this money that they're hoarding, this 53.4 million in TANF money, unobligated and unspent in Arkansas just in 2018. Why can't Senator Cotton use that and pay that to help out parents that need a job? Or why can't they pay the child support collected to the families? They pay zero. So, okay, like I said, thank you guys. Hopefully you guys will click the subscribe button. There's a lot going on in child support news, and I'm going to deliver it to you. I'm going to give you the facts and keep you informed. Hopefully this will help with your, the case. I'm sure it's not your case because I'm sure you didn't agree to any of it. So hopefully the information that we provided the Child Support Hustle will help you with the case. Whether it's keeping you off of child support, helping you get off of child support, or helping you with this debt that they have straddled you with. However, we just want to put the information out. And even though they won't abolish the child support system, at least probably not anytime soon, at least we can know the system, educate ourselves about the system, and know how to navigate through this system and work together, because you can shut something down by not participating. Shut it down by saying no. Oh yeah, hit the like button, people. Thanks, Morton. Usually my son tune in and tell me to do that. He keeps me up, so I'm trying to. But thank you so much, because I would have not said that. So if I don't have, definitely, JoJo says, be careful what law firm you choose. A lot of this stuff that they charge big bucks for. What's the cardinal outside my window? Let me make a wish real quick. I wish that we get child support reform and family court reform there. Um, because a lot of the, I'm sorry, a lot of the documentation that a lawyer will file for you, you can do yourself, and it won't cost you anything but a filing fee. You can just go to the website, your local courthouse, or go in there. They'll have all that stuff, and you can look online, and it'll give you, or come to YouTube. They'll tell you how exactly to do it. And like the Child Support Hustle, I've written lots of blogs. Oh, let me say, you can get my book, The Child Support Hustle, at our website, thechildsupporthustle.com. And this breaks down this system step by step and explains exactly what's going on. If you're new to the system, if you're in the system, I'm telling you about it right here. Exposes the system. If you want a t-shirt, the Child Support Hustle t-shirt, you can order on our website as well. And I'm going to be having masks available very soon, like probably next week. They're not on the website just yet, and I'm gonna have different colors. So support the movement, support us, everything we do. We don't charge any fees for anything. This information is just, I just want everybody to be able to protect themselves when they go against this machine. They have a lot of people coming at you, and you have to know how to deal with them. Like I had to go through it, and I said, if they treat a custodial parent like this, trying to fight for my rights, I just want the child support case closed. I don't want anything to do with you guys. If they treat me like that and make me fight for 8 years to close my case, I can imagine what non-custodial parents go through, and it's not right. And I'm about fighting for my rights, and I'm about treating people equally. Thank you, Morton. You're a godsend as well. You're welcome. Okay, so you guys support the movement. Don't forget to tell your friend to tell a friend. And remember, I gotta get this right. I always get this wrong. They can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's go. Y'all be safe out there and be kind to one another.